No, Oprah, your book club's better than ours. No, no, no. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I didn't even see you there. Hi, I'm John Urie.
And I'm Michael Hobbs.
And welcome to Casual Book Club Quarterly.
This week we're bringing you the review of On the Road by Jack Kerouac.
Let's start off with themes.
What's the first theme, John Urie?
Well, Michael Hobbs, the first theme is dissatisfaction. The characters in this novel are dissatisfied with their lives, so they go on a road trip to try and change that, and they basically go against everything and become rebels because they're dissatisfied with what the American dream is, and they want something more.
For another theme of the novel, we have the theme of friendship. And in this novel we see that Sal envies Dean so much to where he isn't even really his true friend because they aren't seen as equals in Sal's eyes, and therefore it leads to turmoil and different things in the novel.
Good one, Michael.
Thanks, John. Let's talk about symbols. Let's see.
Symbols. Well, the Cadillac is an American muscle car, and that symbolizes the American dream. Now, them going on this trip and eventually wrecking the car is a symbol of them wrecking the American dream. What did you choose?
For my symbol, I thought that went throughout the book, I chose a symbol of it. Not it, the pronoun, but having the it factor. And in this novel, the it factor relates to the knowledge of time and the knowledge of God, too. And the way that Dean sees it is if you have it, you can know time, therefore you can be seen as a pedestal just like you are almost a godly figure.
Ah, like he put musicians on the pedestal because they knew time.
Exactly, John. Alright, let's move on to illusions. Does this novel have any allusions, John?
Why, yes, Michael, it does. The allusions are to the Bible, where it talks about God a lot, and basically what he perceives as said God in his search for spirituality.
Another allusion would be the allusion of Karl Marx. Seeing as Karl Marx, he went against the American dream as well, and this is basically what the Beat Generation does throughout this novel.
Right.
Let's move on to the characters.
Well, I had a really tough time connecting to Sal, just because he envies the madness in people, and I've never really thought of madness as something that you want. So that's something that I just couldn't get with during the entirety of the novel. What about you, Michael?
Oh, well, John, with Dean, I can relate to him because he's always moving at a fast pace, and he doesn't realize at the pace that he's moving, so he becomes a mess and denies the fact that he's becoming a mess. And I can relate to that whenever you get in high-stress situations. You just move at a fast pace and you don't even realize what's happening to yourself.
A valid point.
Thanks, John.
No problem, Michael.
Alright, the genre of this book, we could classify it as fiction. And do you think that has any effect on the way you perceive the book?
Well, I mean, obviously, Michael, because it's fiction, that means it never happened. So to me, that really, it makes it less of an impact because it didn't actually happen to anyone, and it's not the actual historical encounters of someone chasing what they perceive to be the American dream. It's not an actual person. So that definitely moved the book a couple notches down on my scale.
I'd agree. I mean, how can you say something is true in the book, but it really be fiction, you know?
Amen.
Right. Alright, let's move to Jack Kerouac's background.
Let's.
Alright, well, as a young kid, he never really knew what to do, and he became a football player as a young boy, and he went off to play at Columbia College, which we all know is a very prestigious college.
Very indeed.
And he was soaring in football. He was one of the best players on the team, and right at that point, he just decided he wanted to drop out. Now, we see that by him dropping out, this would go against the American dream because if you drop out of college, you're kind of going against the status quo of being successful and just living your life to the fullest, right?
Right, you are, Michael.
Did you find any personal connections to this novel?
Well, really, I didn't find that much of a personal connection, seeing as the main character was a pedophile who needed drugs to feel sort of on the edge, and he nearly starved himself to death trying to achieve, I guess, what he wanted in ideal feeling. So honestly, I couldn't really relate to any of the characters at all. I'm more of use it. I don't know. I just don't think it's something that I can apply to my life rather than what not to do.
That's well put, John.
Thanks, Michael.
Alright, let's move on to the writing style of this book. I mean, my book, I know whenever I read it, there was no chapters or no paragraphs. It was pretty much just like one long scroll put together. You know, and I've heard stories of whenever he brought it to the publishers of him just taping it to the, like taping piece after piece of the story. And it just being one long thing, and you could roll it up and almost look like a Chinese scroll.
Wow, that's very interesting.
That's pretty
indeed.
racist, yeah,
Okay.
Moving on to other things, I mean, overall, on a scale of horrible to bad to mediocre to good to excellent, I would give this book a mediocre grading.
Honestly, I'd go mediocre too, but I'd be leaning more to the negative side. Sort of like, you know, a medium rare steak, if you would.
I like that.
I like it too. That's the only way to have steak. If there's not red in it, you're not an American.
Well, there you go. Here's another week of Casual Book Club Quarterly,
You stay classy, San Diego.
brought to you by Diet Coke.
Drink it. Well, you want to be on the show?
You want to be on the show, Jesse?
Do you?
Go.
Hey,
Get your calm down, Wayne.
Shut up. I'm trying to build for a project.
we can bleep it out.
John, let's discuss one of the themes.
All right, Michael. Well, one of the themes in this novel that was very prevalent was, is that the word? Prevalent? That's the word. All right. One of the themes that was very prevalent in this novel. Right.
This has been another week of
What's our title?
Casual Book Club.
All right, let's say that again.
This has been another week of
Casual Book Club Quarterly.
sponsored by
Diet Coke.
Drink It.